Hey, what's up, Hammer fan? Welcome back to HammeredHead. Today we're looking at the clone SCUBA Trooper from the Legacy Collection. This guy was in like the old 2D Clone Wars. Looks pretty cool. I think he can fit in with regular, modern and animated clones as well. I really like this image they put on here. It actually looks pretty realistic, all things considered. And the blaster actually extends way out over the figure, which looks a little weird, but it's cool. And the figure's kind of cool inside there. He's yellowing a little bit on the torso, but it's not super bad. And the design of the figure, it still looks pretty cool, so it makes up for it. BD-10. Clone SCUBA troopers accompany Kit Fisto when the Republic sends support to the Mon Calamari, who are under attack by the Quarren. Clone SCUBA troopers have special gear that helps them more effectively battle in aquatic conditions. Nice. And then we get the head and center foot of R4J1, so we're going to get to finish that droid today, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Let's open them up. Alright, so what I got to say about this SCUBA Trooper, amazing sculpt. As far as clones go, he's kind of basic all around, but the details on him really bring the guy home. So the paint also is pretty basic. It's just black and white. But the helmet looks really cool. You can really see the sort of the cartoony vibe there. But I think it would work well with some of the live action interpretations we've gotten. Just because, he's so different being a SCUBA Trooper anyway. That it'll sort of stand out in that front more than the fact that he's a cartoon. But then, yeah, so pretty basic detailing on the armor. Like I said, it is yellowing a little bit. But once you shine a light on him and look at him from a distance, it's not that bad at all. Then he does have these fins on his sort of forearms and calves, so those are a nice little touch. The flippers on his feet do come off, so they look really cool when they're on there. They help them stand up too, but they just got a little peg in there, so you can pop them off and have them walk around on land too. And then if we want to look on the back, the propulsion thing looks really cool. We'll take a closer look at that later. These tubes plug into the back, but you can unplug them to remove the pack entirely. And then underneath, we just have sort of a basic clone back. But all in all, I think the guy looks really cool. Even if the regular clone parts of his sculpt are basic, and then the paint apps are obviously basic too, just being black and white due to how they appear in the show. But all in all, I think the sculpt works. The things that are different are executed really well, and the accessories really tie them together. We can take a closer look at the accessories. The blaster rifle looks really cool. Not painted, it's just all sort of this gunmetal gray, but it's a cool, unique sculpt. You can see it has like a similar design and parts of it to the standard clone blaster, but it's more like optimized for underwater stuff, I guess. I don't know. But it looks cool, fun that it comes with them. And then the underwater propulsion pack, I guess, which looks really dope. It's kind of like a face here. Looks like a bat. But it's got some awesome paint apps on it. This cool, like, eel thing on the side, which looks really dope. And then these torpedo things, actually, if you're careful, they do pop off. So you could attach just the back part without the extended propulsion stuff to the guy, and then he's just vibing. But for the full effect, obviously, you want to include these on the sides so he can actually fly through the water. Articulation isn't really much to write home about. He's got a giant ball head, which does move really well. But these sort of tubes may pop out sometimes if you move it too much to the left or right. Not a huge deal. They just go right back in. And then he's got these ball shoulders that go almost 90. Elbows that go a little less than 90, which isn't great. Swivel wrists. He's got a ball waist, which moves really well, actually. You can do a lot of crunches here. And then swivel hips, knees that go about 90, And then if you pop the flippers off, the feet actually move decently well up and down. So, not bad altogether. And finally, we have the head and middle leg of R4J1, which I think looks pretty cool. It's one of those cone droids, which looks dope. Some pretty solid detailing on the paint. Nothing on the inside of the sculpt. All of the detailing is actually on the torso. And then the foot actually has a little bit of painting on it, which looks nice. But let's plug these all in, get this guy put together. There we go. Look at him go. That's a nice little droid. I think he's kind of cute. I like that he looks sort of like dirty and rusty, and it's a nice shade of green. Especially on the legs, these are painted nice. The cables look pretty cool. You know, it's just a generic build-a-droid astromech, but it's always fun when you get to build them yourself from collecting the pieces. And I think the dirty factor on this guy makes him stand out a little bit more from some of the others. So there you go, the clone Scuba Trooper, and as a bonus, a completed R4J1. I really like this guy. A lot of clones, I think, suffer from the fact that they're, clones, and they all pretty much look the same. Same armor, maybe painted a little bit differently. But this guy's got some really cool accessories and some extra tooling on him that I think looks really dope. The paint is not super exciting in and of itself, but I like that sort of all-black helmet with just a little white accenting around the visor. The propulsion pack is dope. I like the fins and the flippers that he's got on. So he definitely stands out a lot from more basic clones without being too much of a departure from the standard design that we know and love those troopers. But I think he's going to look really great in a diorama next to like a Kit Fisto or some Mon Cala, or maybe fighting with a Quarren or something. But yeah, I'd say definitely worth picking up. Maybe try to find one that isn't yellowing, because it does kind of stand out. Sort of the yellowing with the propulsion pack stands out a little bit. Looks kind of goofy, but it's not a huge deal. Again, from a distance, you don't really notice it so much. And again, I do love that R4J1. The weathering on the guy, though basic, does help him look a little older and rustier. I think he's a pretty fun looking droid. I'm glad to have him in the collection too. But let me know what you think in the comments. As always, thank you to my Patreon subscribers. Be sure to follow on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Check out the Patreon page. And don't forget, stay hammered.